Alright, these rose bushes definitely need some work. I'm going to be gone on a vacation for a few days, and my husband will be here and he won't know what to do. So these long shoots have got to be cut back, or else they're going to be laying across the walkway here. We got lots of roses here that need to be cut off, and the bush just needs to be cut down a little bit so it can have some good growth. But I need to do some trimming so that this can grow into the bush like it ought to be. Got two of those, and I got another plant that's kind of an odd shape, so it needs some trimming. What I've learned about roses is the more you cut them back, the more they grow. Whenever there's red leaves, these are like new branches. And so you can actually control the shape of the bush if you know what you're doing as far as cutting. So I think I'll get my clippers and do some cutting to control these roses so they don't get out of hand. Because I don't have any support along this wall, and I don't want them, grabbing my clothes when I walk down the path. Okay, now what we're going to do is trim the roses. Especially this one. Oh my goodness, that one's totally out of shape. And this one needs to be cut back too. Kind of gives them some shape. Now, the tools we need: a wheelbarrow, just throw our clippings, clippers, and some good sturdy garden gloves, because we don't want to get pricked by those thorns. I do love these roses. They're very sweet. They smell good, but what I don't like is how they always grow two or three to a place. So if I cut off this rose, I'm going to miss out on these. But that is just way too long. I cut it right here. So I'm leaving this little branch right there growing, and I could put that in a vase. Yeah, they can enjoy that. This is really long. It's broken. And I could cut it anywhere above one of these little leaves. I want it to be a little shorter. Now, wherever I cut it, that is where new growth is going to come out from. So where do I want new growth to come from? How long is this branch? It comes down, it joins right there. I think I'm going to cut it right here. When you put it in a vase, you want to take off all the leaves. That's going to be down in water, so that they don't corrupt the water. And I cut off a little extra. There was a branch there I didn't really want, so take off these leaves so I can put it in water. We'll cut it right back here. Cut back as far as we can. I come back to my trip, I should probably find a whole bunch of new growth. And we got 1, 2, 3 on this one branch. I think we're just going to go ahead and take off the whole branch. And that's what I don't like about this. The smell. Smells so sweet, like strawberries. And see, this is like a really short stem. Not very good for putting in a vase, but I'm going to make it work anyways. That one is, ouch, partly gone. I'm going to just cut off this lower end here. I hate to cut off that bud, but there's going to be some of the roses right here. That's such a long shoot, and it leans out onto the path, so I don't want that. So I'm going to have to cut it back quite far. So I'll put it in a vase anyways. is a new growth red leaf. Okay, we'll cut it right above this little branch that's branching off. And I can cut it here, here, here. Then I'm going to actually go a little over. So you can cut it right. You always want to cut it right where there's a branch coming off of it so that it can grow from there. But I could have cut it here, 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 or there. I decided to go as low as I could. That'll allow a lot more time for new growth, because new growth grows in really fast. The more you cut your roses, the more roses you get. I'll leave it. So this is kind of high. So I think I'd like to just take it down a little bit more. So that gives more room for new growth to shoot up. I guess that's okay for now. I could cut that off. But I'll let it grow into a flower, and then I'll cut that back down. I'll let that grow into a flower, then I'll cut it way back. We just want to try to keep it under control so it doesn't get so big that it's leaning over onto the path. Okay, this one is gone wild. These are brand new shoots. Look how much it grew in just a short time. I hate to cut all that off, but we've got to. Because what happens is it gets so long, it's hanging over the path. So I'm actually going to take off a lot of that. Go right back down here. You know, it's a shame because no roses will get to grow on that. So, ouch. I think I got gloves on. We got some leaves coming out right there, so that's good. I'm going to cut it way back like that. Way down in here. Okay, now I'd like to sort of get this top here, because we just got too much right here, too some bud here. I'll cut right past this flower, right just where this one's starting. So we still have 3 little flowers on top. I don't like this tall thing, there's nothing growing on it. Cut that back. Different branch. So let's just cut it. So that one's kind of tall. You want to take it back some. Much more manageable. Okay, this has got really long, got a lot of buds on it. Well, it's not hanging in the path, so I'm going to let it grow for now. Let all these flowers come out, and then I'll chop it back. This isn't too tall yet. It's taller than all the rest of them, though. I could just cut a tiny bit of it. A bunch of buds on it. Alright, I'll take up a little bit. Just so it kind of evens it up with the rest of the plant there. Just is going to grow up real fast, so let's get that. And we got this one hanging on the ground. It's a broken branch. Let's get rid of that broken branch. Much more manageable, not overgrown, and doesn't get in the way of the path. Is what I want. See, one of the reasons you want to cut it off right above where just where there's something growing, because it hides that little end, so that bugs don't get into it. So that's why we cut it right where there's a new shoot coming out. Okay. That's where you cut it. Right above where there's a branch coming out. We just trimmed off this lovely bouquet. Some of them are a little old, yes. But some of them are so nice. And oh my goodness, they smell so wonderful. Okay, now I'm going to arrange my cuttings so I can enjoy the sweet smelling roses in the house for a few days. First, you want to remove any leaves on the part of the stem that will be in the water, so that it will not contaminate the water. You might need to cut a little bit more off the long stem so that it fits into the arrangement a little better. Place the shorter stems around the lower outside edges. I'm looking through the previous bouquet, the one that I had in the vase before I brought in this bouquet, to see if any of them are still good enough to include in this bouquet. If you find one that is pretty decent, but it has some ugly dried leaves on the outside edges, just pull off the ugly petals until you get to the good part. I hate to throw away the older flowers because they still smell so good. When reusing the previous flowers, make sure you cut off the bottom, because what happens over time is it grows a seal and then it can't absorb water anymore. Not wanting to throw away the still sweet smelling roses, I started removing the petals from the stems, keeping only the petals and throwing away the stems and leaves. They can be dried to be added in a potpourri mix. But later, I placed them on a pizza pan to dry. I just placed them around the base of the vase for added decor. Take time to smell the roses. So 6 days after I trimmed my bushes, I come back and whoa, lots of roses. So now I can come back to these and do some more trimming. Like this long branch right here needs to go. Since it had all its blooms, I can trim it back, so I'll do some more cutting. Look at all those pretty flowers. I like the shape of this bush. That looks pretty good.